Let me ask you a question. Why is it that so many people dream of success, yet only a tiny fraction ever achieve it? We all start with ambition. We all say we want more wealth, more freedom, more happiness. But if success were easy, everyone would have it. The truth is, 99% of people fail. The real question is, what does the 1% do differently? And more importantly, how can you become one of them? Ladies and gentlemen, every day, millions of people dream big: better careers, financial freedom, stronger relationships, healthier lives. But if you look around, you'll notice something striking. 99% of people never reach those dreams. They start, they struggle, and they stop. The difference between the 99% who fail and the 1% who succeed is not luck, intelligence, or even talent. It's mindset, discipline, and consistent action. Success doesn't belong to the chosen few. It belongs to those who choose to keep going when everyone else quits. The truth is, most people fail because they want results without sacrifice, comfort without growth, and shortcuts without effort. But the 1%, the ones who stand out, do what the 99% won't. If you want to be the 1%, here are 5 keys you must live by. Clarity of vision. One of the biggest reasons 99% of people fail is because they don't really know what they're aiming for. They say they want success, but when you ask them, what does success look like for you? They can't give a clear answer. Most people drift through life without direction. They wake up, go to work, come home, scroll through their phone, and repeat. It's like being on a ship with no compass. Any wave, any storm, any distraction can pull them off course. And when they don't reach anywhere meaningful, they call it bad luck. But it's not luck, it's lack of vision. The 1%, on the other hand, live differently. They have a clear, written vision for their life. They know exactly what they're working toward, whether it's financial freedom, building a business, becoming world-class in their career, or living a healthy, purposeful life. That vision acts like a GPS. It keeps them on track even when the road is rough. Clarity creates focus, and focus creates power. When you know your vision, decisions become easier. You stop wasting energy on things that don't align with your goals. You stop comparing yourself to others because your path is uniquely yours. Think of it this way. A magnifying glass can take scattered sunlight and focus it into a single point that burns through paper. That's what vision does. It takes the scattered energy of your life and directs it into one powerful force. The 99% drift. The 1% decide. And once they decide, they commit. So if you want to be the 1%, don't just say, I want success. Define it. Write it down. Make it vivid. See it, feel it, believe it. Because if you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. But with clarity of vision, every step, no matter how small, moves you closer to your destination. Relentless discipline. If vision gives you direction, discipline is what keeps you moving forward. And here's the truth. Most people fail not because they don't know what to do, but because they don't do what they know. The 99% rely on motivation. They get excited after watching a video, reading a book, or attending a seminar. For a few days, they wake up early, hit the gym, work on their goals, but then life gets busy, they feel tired, and the spark fades. Motivation is like a firework, bright for a moment, gone the next. The 1% understand something deeper. Discipline is greater than motivation. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up on the days you'd rather quit. It's sticking to your routine when your emotions scream, take it easy. Think about the athletes who train at 5 a.m., rain or shine. The entrepreneurs who work late nights when everyone else is watching Netflix. The writers who write even when they don't feel inspired. They're not waiting for motivation, they've built discipline. Here's the difference. The 99% let their feelings dictate their actions. The 1% let their commitments dictate their actions. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, even the best vision is useless. Imagine planting a seed and watering it only when you feel motivated. Will it grow? Of course not. But if you water it every single day consistently, it becomes a tree. The same applies to your dreams. Small, disciplined actions, repeated daily, create massive results over time. And here's the real secret. Once discipline becomes a habit, it no longer feels like sacrifice. It becomes part of who you are. At first, it's hard to wake up early, to save money, to stay focused, but over time, discipline transforms into freedom. Freedom to achieve, freedom to live life on your terms. The 99% wait to feel ready. The 1% act no matter how they feel. That's why they win. So if you want to be the 1%, stop asking yourself, do I feel like it? And start asking, did I commit to it? Because success doesn't belong to the motivated. It belongs to the disciplined. Embracing failure as feedback. If there is one thing that separates the 99% from the 1%, it's how they respond to failure. The truth is, everyone fails. Everyone experiences rejection, setbacks, mistakes, and painful disappointments. The difference is simple. The 99% see failure as proof they're not good enough. The 1% see failure as feedback, a teacher, a stepping stone to mastery. Most people are so afraid of failing that they never even start. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. But perfection never comes, and so they remain stuck. And if they do try and stumble, they quit, telling themselves, maybe this isn't for me. But the 1% know that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful entrepreneur, athlete, artist, or leader has a trail of failures behind them. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is what creates breakthroughs. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Failure is feedback. It tells you what's not working so you can adjust, improve, and try again. Each failure carries a lesson, if you're willing to look for it. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall hundreds of times. But do they quit? No. They keep getting up until walking becomes natural. Adults, however, fall once or twice in life and decide, walking isn't for me. That's why they stay stuck. The 99% take failure personally. They let it define them. The 1% take failure constructively. They let it refine them. Failure is not a dead end, it's a detour. It's the universe saying, not this way, try another. And every detour brings you closer to the right path. So if you want to be the 1%, shift your mindset. Don't fear failure. Expect it, embrace it, learn from it. Each setback is proof that you are in the game, while most people are sitting on the sidelines, too afraid to try. Remember, success is built on a pile of failures that you refuse to let stop you. The only real failure is giving up. Everything else is feedback. Continuous learning and adaptation. Another reason 99% of people fail is because they stop growing. They graduate from school, get a job, and think their education is over. They cling to what they already know, even when the world is changing around them. And when change comes, new technologies, new opportunities, new challenges, they get left behind. But the 1% think differently. They know that in a world that never stops changing, the only way to stay ahead is to never stop learning. The 99% believe learning ends in the classroom. The 1% understand that real education begins after the classroom. They are curious, hungry, and humble enough to admit that they don't know everything. They read books, listen to mentors, attend workshops, invest in courses, and most importantly, apply what they learn. Why does this matter? Because knowledge compounds. Every new skill you learn, every piece of wisdom you gain, every mistake you study, it all adds up, giving you an edge that multiplies over time. The 1% know that the person who refuses to grow is the person who quietly falls behind. But learning alone is not enough. Adaptation is just as important. The world changes faster than ever before. Industries shift, technology evolves, markets transform, and the rules of success today may not apply tomorrow. The 99% resist change. They say things like, "This is how I've always done it." They cling to the old ways, even when the old ways no longer work. And eventually, they're overtaken by those who adapt. The 1%, however, are flexible. They embrace change, they experiment, they pivot when necessary. If one door closes, they look for another. If a strategy fails, they try a new one. They understand that survival and success belong to the most adaptable, not the most comfortable. Think of it like a river. Water doesn't argue with rocks. It flows around them, over them, even wears them down over time. That's the mindset of the 1%, fluid, adaptable, unstoppable. So if you want to be the 1%, make learning a lifelong habit. Be a student of life. Upgrade your skills. Seek feedback. Read, listen, observe, apply. And when change comes, and it always will, don't resist it. Adapt to it and use it to your advantage. Because in the end, it's not the strongest or the smartest who succeed. It's the ones who keep learning, keep growing, and keep adapting. Unshakable persistence. If clarity of vision gives you direction, and discipline, failure, and learning shape your journey, then persistence is what guarantees you reach the destination. The The truth is, most people quit too soon. The 99% give up at the first, second, or third obstacle. They start a business and quit when profits don't come fast enough. They hit the gym for a month and quit when they don't see instant results. They try something new, face rejection, and decide it's not worth it. But here's the reality. Every worthwhile achievement takes time. Success doesn't come overnight. It comes after countless nights of persistence. The 99% underestimate how long success takes, while the 1% are willing to keep going for as long as it takes. Persistence means refusing to quit, even when the journey feels impossible. It means pushing forward when others say, "It's not worth it." It means showing up again and again, even when progress feels invisible. Think about a stonecutter striking a rock. They may hit it 99 times and see no crack at all. But on the 100th strike, the rock splits open. Not because of that one strike, but because of the 99 that came before. That's persistence. The 99% stop swinging too soon. The 1% keeps swinging until the breakthrough comes. Persistence doesn't mean blindly repeating the same mistakes. It means refusing to quit while continuously adjusting your strategy. It's a balance of resilience and flexibility, staying committed to the goal, but open to new paths. And here's the magic. Persistence creates momentum. Every time you refuse to quit, you build strength. Every time you push past resistance, you build resilience. Over time, persistence becomes your greatest superpower, because most people simply won't endure long enough to compete with you. The 99% ask, "How long will it take?" The 1% ask, "As long as it takes." So if you want to be the 1%, make persistence your trademark. Decide today that quitting is not an option. No matter how many times you stumble, no matter how many doors close, no matter how heavy the climb feels, keep moving. Because the breakthrough might not come on your first try, or your 10th, or even your 100th. But it will come to those who refuse to give up. Remember, success doesn't always go to the fastest or the smartest, but it always goes to the one who refuses to stop. The truth is simple. 99% of people fail. Not because they aren't capable, not because they lack talent, but because they give up too soon, settle for less, or never commit fully. But you don't have to be part of the 99%. You can choose today to step into the 1%. Have a clear vision so you know where you're going. Build relentless discipline so you keep moving forward. Embrace failure as feedback so nothing can stop your growth. Commit to continuous learning and adaptation so you're always evolving. And above all, practice unshakable persistence, because persistence turns dreams into reality. Success is not reserved for the lucky few. It's reserved for the relentless few. The ones who decide, "I will not quit until I get there." So I ask you, will you drift with the 99%, or will you rise and become the 1%? The choice is yours. Be the 1%.